Today, I am going to talk about scientific notation. It is the way that we identify or notate a lot of numbers in chemistry. Basically, if there are more than 3 zeros involved in a number at the beginning or the end, it needs to go into scientific notation. Zeros are easy to lose when you're putting it into your calculator. They're hard for instructors to count when they're grading your assignments. So you're absolutely going to have to be able to use scientific notation. And when you get to learning about acids and bases and we start calculating the pH of stuff, determining whether it's acidic or basic or what's going on with it, you're going to absolutely have to be able to use your scientific notation. Okay, so we're going to talk about scientific notation today. Okay, so when we are looking at noting numbers in scientific notation, okay, what scientific notation means is like if I gave you a number that was 2.60 times 10 to the 7, okay, this means that you are going to move the decimal 7 places in the positive direction. Okay, so if you think of a number line, right, here is 0. This is the positive direction, and this is the negative direction. Okay, so you're going to move your decimal 7 places in the positive direction to the right. Okay, so we're going to move that decimal. It's right here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that decimal goes, basically, the decimal is at the end of the number, okay? But we're not going to put a decimal at the end because that gets into significant figures, and significant figures we will talk about later, okay? Okay, so now if I had 2.60 times 10 to the negative 7, it means you're going to move the decimal 7 places in the negative direction. Okay, and so your decimal is going to go, oh, sorry, your decimal is already there. Okay, so if I had this and I'm moving my decimal 7 places in the next direction, there's 1, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's your decimal. Okay. Okay, so that's that number. So if what I want you to notice is this number is larger than 1, so it has a positive exponent. Okay, this number is smaller than 1, so it has a negative exponent. Okay. Okay, so that is the easy way to see. Like if I gave you a number that was 3.96 times 10 to the negative 4, you know automatically that that number is going to be less than 1. Okay, because it has a negative exponent, so it's going to be less than 1. Okay, so for me, the easy way for me to do it is I know that basically there's going to be 4 zeros in front of that 3. So I'm going to have a 0.000. There's my 4 zeros, 396. And do you see how that is moving my decimal? 4 places in the negative direction. Okay. Okay, if I had 2.4 times 10 to the negative 7, I'm going to move it. I know that number is less than 1 because it's a negative exponent. It's going to have 7 zeros in front of the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And see, I moved my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 places in the negative direction. Okay. So I know a lot of students really struggle with Like, oh my God, am I going to move that decimal to the left or am I going to move it to the right? Or if I were given this number, let's say I were given the number 0.000023, okay? And you say, okay, to put it into scientific notation, your decimal always goes behind the first non-zero number. Okay, so behind the first non-zero number. Okay, so my decimal is going to go behind the 2. Okay, and now you might be like, okay, I'm moving my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. But now you're like, is that a positive 5 or a negative 5? Well, the number is less than 1, so it is a negative 5. Okay, if I had 230000, okay, I know I'm going to put my decimal behind the first non-zero number, and I know I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. This number is greater than 1, so it is a positive exponent to the positive 5. Okay? Okay, so scientific notation is just basically the big things to remember is that if it is a positive exponent, like right here, the positive exponent means your number is larger than 1. Okay, if it's a negative exponent, your number is smaller than 1. Okay, so let's do a few more practice just for fun. Okay, so what if I give you 4.970 times 10 to the negative 3? Okay, so because that's a negative exponent, I know it's a number that's going to be smaller than 1. So it's going to have 3 zeros in front of the number. Okay. Now what if I have, oh, I need that 0 on the end there for sig figs. Okay, so what if I have 4.970 times 10 to the positive 3? Okay, so we know we're going to move that decimal 3 places in the positive direction. 1, 2, 3. Okay, got to have that decimal at the end there for significant figures. Okay. Okay, what if I had 9.6 times 10 to the negative 11? Okay, so this is a number less than 1 because it's a negative exponent, so it's going to have 11 zeros in front of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then my number. Okay. What if I said 4.8 times 10 to the negative 7? Negative exponent, number less than 1, 7 zeros in front of that number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my number. Okay. What if I said 7.8694 times 10 to the negative 8? Okay. Negative exponent, so number less than 1. So it's going to have 8 zeros in front of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then my number. Okay. What if I said, 6.21 times 10 to the negative 1? Okay, that's going to have 1 0. Negative exponent, number less than 1, 1 0 in front of the number. There's my 1 0. Okay, so now let's do some positive exponents. What if I had 9.6 times 10 to the positive 7? Okay, you can't do with positive exponents, you can't just say it's that many zeros. Because it's not. There's a number there. This number has taken up one of those places. So you can't just say 7 zeros behind the number. Okay? You're moving your decimal 7 places. Okay, so I would be like, okay, there's one place 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, what if I had 2.93 times 10 to the 4? Okay, I'm going to move my decimal 4 places. Positive exponent, so the number is greater than 1. You can't just put 4 zeros behind it. Okay, you can only do that when you're negative exponents because the zeros are going in front of the number. So none of the numbers are taking the place of that 0. But here, the zeros are going behind the number. So like on this one up here, the 6 took the place of one of those zeros. Okay, so here my 9 and 3 are both going to take the place of zeros. So I'm just going to count. I'm going to move it 4 places. So I have, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my number. Okay, if I had 7.38 times 10 to the 11. Okay, the 3 and 8 are going to take place of some of those zeros. Okay, so we've got, there's that. We're going to move it 11 places. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's your number. Okay, what if I had 9, just 9? 9 times 10 to the 6. Okay, so 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I didn't have any numbers there to take a place of a 0, so I just put 6 zeros on. But if you have a number there that's going to take place of the 0, you can't just put that many zeros behind it, okay? You just need to count how many places you're moving your decimal, okay? So the most important things here, okay, is if it is a positive exponent, the number is larger than 1. If it is a negative exponent, the number is smaller than 1. Okay? I think that's all I have to say about that. If you want a little more help on this and want to schedule an individual session, just shoot me off an email at juliakimtutor@outlook.com. Schedule a session with me. Have a great day.